Good afternoon. Welcome once again to this session of English. Thank you very much for your punctuality as well. Today we're going to continue with unit number 3. Yeah, unit number 3. And I remember we didn't have classes last week because we have different activities going on. And we're gonna start again explaining some topics, especially the present perfect use. Present perfect, it was the tense that we were working on the previous lesson. And the main topic, or the topic that we are applying these structures, is traveling. If you like to travel, if you get stressed when you travel by airplane, by car, or whatever mean it is. I'm going to start sharing a review or a recap of what we did study with present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is a very simple structured tense, but sometimes it generates confusion when we are going to use it because it embraces the past tense, the present tense, and a future probability. So when we use present perfect, we embrace past tense with present tense as well. It is involved because it's an unfinished tense, or it's an unfinished action. But just to clarify what I'm saying, you can check the previous class in the YouTube channel just in case that you weren't here. But if you were, just to recall, we're going to watch another clip that I found in YouTube explaining the structure of present perfect. And then we're going to move to the book exercises. Give me one sec. So there you have it. This is the clip. There we can see the previous clip there at the bottom of the video. That was the previous clips that we watched. It's a very fascinating channel, by the way. It's Arlene's Everyday English, but this one is totally different. So now listen and try to recap and recollect everything that is going to be.
Teacher, the video has sound because I can't hear anything.
Let me check. Yeah, I have already activated the audio. Yeah, it was deactivated. Now let's watch again.
The present perfect.
How do we form the present perfect? Affirmative.
Subject. Plus. Have. Plus. Past participle. Plus. Object. I have cooked dinner.
Conjugating the present perfect. Affirmative.
I have seen the film. You have seen the film. He has seen the film. She has seen the film. We have seen the film. They have seen the film.
How do we form the present perfect? Negative.
Subject. Plus. Have. Plus. Not. Plus. Past participle. Plus. Object. John has not fixed the sink.
Conjugating the present perfect? Negative.
I have not seen the film. You have not seen the film. He has not seen the film. She has not seen the film. We have not seen the film. They have not seen the film.
We can contract the negative form of the auxiliary verb, have.
I have not. I haven't. You have not. You haven't. He has not. She has not. He hasn't. She hasn't. We have not. We haven't. They have not. They haven't.
How do we form the present perfect? Interrogative.
Have. Plus. Subject. Plus. Past participle. Plus. Object. Have. You visited New York?
Conjugating the present perfect? Interrogative.
Have I seen the film? Have you seen the film? Has he seen the film? Has she seen the film? Have we seen the film? Have they seen the film?
Okay, I think that this video has helped you to clarify the structure. Basically, we discussed the use, because one thing is how to form the tense and the other one is how to use it. But just in case, I will recap that with you, because I want to make sure that you get the concept. So we have a lot of uses for present perfect, but one of the most common ones, well, I'm gonna show you two of the most common uses for this tense, and I think they will clarify all. The first one is to talk about things you have done at any point in the past. Up to now. and that is called, oops, up to now, and that it's called indefinitive past. So this is one of the uses of present perfect, to talk about things that you have done at any point in the past. And because it's at any point, it's a indefinitive past, because what really matters here is the action, not when it happened or when they happened. So for example, I say examples. Oops. Damn, this keyboard is a mess. Examples. Camila has traveled to Korea. Gustavo, well, the contraction is Gustavo's written a novel. So you see those examples. Camila has traveled to Korea. When? So we don't know, and we don't care much about that. What is important here is that the action has happened before up now. Camila has been to Korea. She has traveled to Korea. When is not important. The same happens with the example Gustavo has. Instead of say Gustavo has, I use the contraction Gustavo's written a novel. When? So we don't know. And for this matter, it's not important. What is really important here is that the action has taken place at any point in the past before. And the other use of present perfect is to talk about things that started in the past and still continue into the present, and might also continue to the future. That is the second common use. Right? Talk about things that started, that started in the past and still continue into the present or future. So one example for me, I have worked at Arrupe School since 2010. And another example is my mother has lived in San Salvador for 50 years. Okay, this example shows that I started working at Arrupe School back in 2010. The action hasn't finished yet. The action didn't finish because I still work at Arrupe School, and I might continue working in the future next year. So you see, that's why I wrote the future in parentheses, because it's a probability. But fact is, reality is that the action started in 2010, still continue up to the present, and might continue into the future. The second example says my mother has lived, or my mother's lived. If I want to use contraction, I will use the contraction. My mother's lived in San Salvador for 50 years. So 50 years ago, my mom moved to San Salvador. She still lives there and she might continue living there for a far or near future. So those are the uses of present perfect tense. The one that we use in the previous lesson, in lesson number 1 and lesson number 2 in your books, is this one. But that doesn't mean that it's the only one. But I don't know if you have questions related to this. Actually, there's a video, a more complete video of this explanation in YouTube. In the previous class, I shared with you another clip. But since I wanted to keep updated with what we said, I wanted to recap what we did. I present this information to you. Now let's move to the book. It's lesson number 2 and lesson number 3 in your books. And it can be found on page, page 29, because we did that one. Page 29, we have exercises here to practice. So you have to remember what happened in the previous conversations here between Harry and the other guy. They were talking about Katie, that this guy is afraid of flying. Yeah, he got a girlfriend in Australia and they want to meet him. But the problem is that she can't afford an airplane ticket, and he is afraid to go. So there are two problems. So that was the situation that happened here, you see. So now what you have to do, my friends, is try to remember. Well, you have to check what you brought in the previous class and make true sentences about Harry's story. You have the subjects here, as you could see the structure in the video. You have the subject, you have the main verb, and you need the auxiliary, right? Has or have. This verb must be inflected in past participle, and this is the object. So they have the elements that you saw in the clip. Then you have to ask these questions. Some of them are in the past tense because they are finished actions, and the other ones in past participle. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Well, no, 6 minutes to work with these two exercises. And then I'm gonna come back to you to check what you have done. Do you have any questions about exercise B and exercise C? Questions? No questions? So let's get to work. In exercise B, answers possible responses. I'm gonna give you an extra hand just in case that you have forgotten the particulars of the conversation between Pedro and Harry. So one of the possibilities is in negative form. Harry hasn't been to Australia before. Harry has been on a plane once. Harry has been to Disney World once. Or you can also use before. Harry has tried therapy twice. Pedro has been to Australia twice. Pedro has seen Katie's photos, and Katie has seen Pedro's photos. So those are the possible responses that you have there based on the previous conversation in the previous lesson for sure. Well, this is the same lesson, but in the previous class. So then in the questions for Pedro about his trip, well, all of them except number 8 were in the past tense, not in the present perfect, because it's something that took place and it ended. His trip, about Pedro's trip. So number 1 is already done as an example. Number 2, how long did you stay there? What places did you visit? Is number 3. Number 4, how was the weather? Number 5, did you stay in a hotel? 6, did your wife go with you? 7, how much work did you do? And the last one, would you like to go again? All right, I will leave it just a couple of seconds so you can get on a screenshot if you may. And then let's move to the next exercise. Then here, first thing you have to do is conjugate the verbs in parentheses. First, you have to match them. The verb be is going to be used twice. Meet, see, travel, and try. You're going to conjugate it into the present perfect form with auxiliary have or has and the past participle form of the verbs in the box. Then when you have finished this, you have to write the number of every sentence in the picture that corresponds or in the corresponding picture. So there, as you can see, there's some space here. So you may write the number. This exercise is much easier, so you can take only 3 minutes to do it. Please work it out. Okay, it's enough. Maybe we have the same responses. Let me see, exercise C. Yeah, those were the answers. So number 1 is already done. Is the example is photo of picture D. Sentence number 2 goes with picture F, and it's have traveled. Have traveled. Number 3 is picture A, and the response is has met. Has met. Number 4 is see. Have seen is the answer, have seen. Number 5, letter E, and is has tried. Has tried. 6 is letter B, and the conjugation of the verb is have been. Just remember that verb be was going to be used twice. There we have solved unit 3, lesson 2. And we're moving to number 3,